Previously on Wild Angles.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. How you doing?
How's it going?
Hey, young fella.
Oh, nice to
it's
finally
good.
have you here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Later. Well, we're working east today. We go out for some pike walleye, so we'll be rolling through some waves this morning. Welcome to Wild Angles. On this week's episode, we're up here at Cree Lake Lodge, targeting big walleye, big pike. We'll see if one is feeding more than the other, but we're just gonna get out here and try our best. There's definitely some big fish kicking around, so we're gonna use a selection of lures. We got a couple of these lures from Josh and Cody Verge there, On the Verge Angling, and we'll see if we can turn some fish on these beautiful lures. Stay tuned. Ooh. Got him. That was cool. Probably didn't get the strike on camera there, but he followed me right up to the side of the boat. I didn't see this fish until he was at the side of the boat. So I had to let out a little bit of line, drop my lure back down, and then he just crushed it. He's no monster by any means, but it's a decent fish. Beautiful little pike. Yeah, nice fish. He was ready to go. Well, that was cool. That was a really cool strike. We came back into a different little back bay here. This place is just surrounded by fire right now. Pretty insane getting in here, seeing all the fire and how much forest has burnt down. Just gonna change up lures to a little rattle bait here. Make some noise. So last time I was here, my client caught a 37 or 38 inch silver pike, which is a genetic pigmentation mess up, basically that makes it so the fish doesn't have any pattern. And they just look kind of bluey silver. They're really cool looking. They're extremely rare and only exist in specific genetic pools, which this body of water is one of them. Had a strike there. This one trying to eat it. Got him. And he's gone. Just a little guy, but that was really cool. He followed it up to the side of the boat. I twitched it right in his face and he smoked it. That was cool. Doesn't feel super small. Oh, it's a walleye. What in the world? Just smoked a really nice walleye along this edge. Ha, that's cool. A rattle bait right in the corner of his mouth. Beautiful fish. Right on. There we go. Well, that's kind of funny to hit that along this edge, although it is really good structure. But I've never seen a walleye here personally. That'd be the first. It's cool. Well, let's try one of the lures that Josh and Cody said would work well for walleye. Fish. Feels walleye-like. That's because it is. Where are we? Well, as per the Verge boys' recommendation there, that beautiful lure is stuck right in the corner of this walleye's lips. That's pretty badass. Can confirm they will work. That's awesome. That's a nice fish. Yeah, I think he's gonna go in the box for lunch. Right on, eating walleye today. So we've adjusted locations yet again. We're just down into a bay that's really close to the lodge here. Just our last location on the way through. But there is a good weed bed here, so we'll check it out and see if we can pull off a big pike. Oh, there's a monster chasing him. This guy's not very big though. Unless a big one just ate him because he just got real heavy. He's not a bad fish, but there was a giant chasing him. Just gonna go to the other side of the boat to unhook him. So I don't really have anywhere to grab this fish just because of the hook placement, but you can see it's another beautiful pike. He's really healthy, like super clean, healthy fish. I'm just gonna pop him at the side here just to make sure that he swims away good. Oh, and there he goes. So yeah, same deal with the pike fishing. Always make sure we pinch our barbs out here. You know, it's just another step that we can take, especially on a lure like this, like with two treble hooks that are so close together. But always make sure to pinch your barbs. You know, you can get that hook out a lot easier. And if the fish does take it kind of deep, those hooks will pop out really easy and not do a whole lot of damage to the fish. And you know, it's just, like I said, just another step that we can take just to ensure that these fish stay nice and healthy. People may ask, how can I say, oh, that's a 40+ inch fish? How can I accurately guess that? And I'll tell them, I have guided people into and unhooked hundreds of 40+ inch pike in this lake. I have a fairly decent guess of the size, even just seeing them in the water there. Ooh, that's a good fish. Shoot. Only I didn't say shoot. There's fish. This could be a good one. That's a better fish. Yeah, that's one. Feel like he's got another run in him, but we got him. There we go. That's what we've been battling for all day today. One of those 40+ inch pikes, finally into the net. We worked for it today, man, but that is awesome. That's a big fish. Stay in the net there, bud. Yeah, that's a nice fish right there. So now I just gotta figure out where the lure is in his mouth. Notice I dropped my lure into the boat. If you put it out the side, sometimes fish will come and grab it when you're not holding on to your fishing rod. Just gotta take a quick breath and then I'll show you guys. See, one thing you might notice I do, after I fight a fish, it's okay to let them sit in the net for a second and let them catch their breath. Try going for a big long jog and then holding your head underwater. You don't feel very good. So after you fight these fish, if you're holding them out of the water for a while, you can make these fish sick really easily. And you know, obviously we want to protect our large fish in this water body, but everybody should kind of take charge and try to protect the larger fish in every water body. try to keep these big fish safe because they're the only reason that there's more fish out there. These are our breeders. This is a beautiful, beautiful fish. He's very, very thick. He's got a lot of spunk. He's healthy. Oh. There's another big one right there swimming away. There we go. There's a good example of a Cree Lake pike right there. That's a beautiful, beautiful pike. Right on. Finally, that's awesome. All right, I'll get this guy back in the drink here. You notice how I never hold him by just his head? Oh, and he's ready. Ah, he got the twist on my fingers there. That hurts. Ooh. You notice how I never hold those big pike by just their heads? So a lot of people kind of get used to like, well, this is how my grandpa held it and whatever. But there's sciences out there, we've discovered that holding big fish by just their heads can actually damage their spine. And you release that fish and they'll kick off and they'll act like they're strong, but within a couple of days, that fish was probably gonna perish to its injuries there. The more that we can do to try to keep them safe and healthy while we have them out of the water, better for the fish, better for the fishery, better for the fishermen. We're up here at Cree Lake Lodge, targeting plus size pike. We're gonna be throwing around in some weed beds, and there's some weather to work around too, but we're gonna try our best to see if we can't turn some of those 40+ inch fish. Just pinching down the barbs on this Cree Lake Special from On the Verge Angling. So this pattern is just awesome. It looks like a sucker. Looks great. I'm just throwing a kind of a medium cast out there. If I cast too far, these lures will dig deep, but I want it to sit not too deep. We're only 7 feet of water, so. There's a fish. Fish on. Not a bad one at all. How big is he? Oh, he's actually quite large. It's a really good fish. Got him. There we go. Finally, that's sweet. I'll have to be kind of quick because the wind is blowing us super fast, but that's a good fish right there. There we go. Beautiful fish. That is a freaking nice fish right there. Big pike at Cree Lake Lodge. Let this guy go. There he goes. Whoosh. That was awesome. That was really awesome. That's killer picking up a big fish like that. Right on. It's like kind of off of this point, like right here somewhere, there's a big reef. I think the reef is right here. I think I see the brown water, but it's so hard to tell with the glare. We're gonna drift through this weed bed. The wind is really, really hard to work with, being the guy driving the boat and fishing. So I'm just trying to find ways where I can work with the wind and still effectively cover the water. So we were trolling for a little while there, but with the wind blowing into this weed bed, it's actually a really good situation. People say that wind pushes bait fish up against structures, and then any feeding predatory fish that you have in that area, they should be up against that structure feeding on those bait fish. So this is a really, really good deep weed bed here. Like, we're 9 feet of water and the weeds are 4 or 5 feet tall. So I'm just gonna put on that rattle bait just so I can work it a little bit slower and just kind of twitch this through this weed bed and see if we can't turn any big fish. Damn it. rockfish hit like a pike. There's one. That could be a good one. It's a good fish. How big though? Maybe 40 plus, he's close. That's a good fish. Come on. Whew. Okay, so that's a pretty big fish. It was just the hook placement. I didn't want to stick him in the net, but that is a trophy pike right there. Just an absolute unit. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Right on. Sweet. Well, we'll get him back in the water here. I don't think he'll take too long. He's pretty energetic. Yeah, just like that. Man, another trophy pike to the boat. Just unbelievable fishing in this lake. There is so many fish in that size class and bigger. It's just incredible. This is such an incredible fishery. Let's get back to it. I really want to hook into another one. Maybe we can try to upsize that a bit. That was awesome. So notice on that last fish, I didn't stick him in the net even though he was a pretty fair-sized fish. The reasoning behind that is I saw that the treble hooks on this lure were outside of his mouth. And sometimes when you stick pike in the net, they'll spin. And if those hooks are exposed like that, they'll just grab that net and it turns into a really big mess. So, you know, if I can help it, if I don't have to stick them in the net, I won't. But if it's a really, really big fish, obviously we're gonna stick them in the net. You know you're spoiled when you're calling a 40, 41 inch pike. You know, that's not the really big fish. And it isn't, not in this lake. There are some absolute sea monsters swimming around in here.
Is he 40 inches?
He had the big head. Usually when they have that big head, they're over 40. Good fish. I didn't even have words for that one. That was just funny. Perfect. Got everything out of that fish we wanted. It looked like a whale or a dolphin. Wow, these weeds are coming right up to the top here. Well, that might have been from me ripping through them there. No, these weeds are super tall. Jeez. He's just a little guy. Let's get him on the surface and get him to the boat. Cool. They're really pretty, really clean little pike. He's a small guy, but I just like seeing those clean fish like that. If we needed one for lunch today, this would be a good one for it. That was sick. Is there any way that was on film? Probably
No.
not, eh?
No.
That was awesome. Beauty fish. Really solid pike. And that strike was incredible. You guys didn't see that, but I reeled my lure up. He's gone. I reeled my lure up and I was on my cast, I was just pulling my lure out of the water, and he literally, my lure was this far in the water, and he came up mouth wide open and smashed it. I wish that was on film, and I know it wasn't, but that was an incredible strike. Well, thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Wild Angles up here at Cree Lake Lodge. We put the smackdown on a good number of pike, and we caught a couple of those fish over that 40-inch mark. We didn't get into any monsters, but we definitely got into some absolutely beautiful fish. And these fish, they just fight so hard. That was an awesome, awesome time, and I can't wait until the next opportunity I get to throw a line into Cree Lake.
Follow us on social media at Wild Angles TV.